Hi guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. Hope you guys are doing well on your, what is it? Today is Monday. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I just wanted to come to you just for a few minutes regarding SNAP benefits. Okay. Um, Looks like we have a little bit of some contradiction going on here. Let's see. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well out there. So I have something from Zero Hedge that I wanted to share with you guys. Um, this particular liner is the well has run dry. Okay. Love the language, right? The well has run dry. Um, it says that USDA says SNAP benefits will expire for 41 million people if the shutdown persists. Hi, Watchman. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to get that liner out just a little bit, just a little bit. I know I talked about initially about the inflation and all that. I'm still going to post that link online. I'm still going to post that one, but I wanted to do this one for sure as well. I at least post that one because I talked about it today about, let's see, I talked about, uh-oh, the hits just keep on coming, right? The hits just keep on coming. Okay, so let's go with it, shall we? Hope you're doing well out there, Watchmen. Yeah, because it's feeling like a it's feeling like a Monday to me. Hi, realize. How are you doing? Thanks so much for coming in. So I just want to talk about this whole the well has run dry. USDA says that SNAP benefits will expire for 41 million people if the shutdown persists. Okay, so here again we're injecting all this into the narrative, all the fear, right? Because most of the shutdown is good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well out there. Like, the weather's getting a little Burberry around here, but it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, so when I talked about this initially, we talked about Derek C. Williams says about to juice some fruits, just got home from work. Hey, I know about that. That's the best feeling. That's the best feeling, okay? You're home, the day's done, okay? So I'm just talking about this little liner that I picked up. Glad you guys made it in. Glad you guys made it in for sure. Okay, so here it is. We've got this whole injection. I love the language. The well has run dry. These little idioms, right? So let's go with it. So it says more. This is a Zero Hedge. Okay, more than 41 million Americans will go without food stamps next month if Congress does not vote to reopen the government in time. Okay, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, stated on October 25th. Okay, so they're going into the 25th day. For those of you that do the numbers, I'm sure you're having a field day with this. How many? I should put that in a poll. How many days? How many more days do you guys think this is going to go on? Okay, so let's just keep rolling here. It says, with the government shut down now, well into its 25th day, Senate Republicans and Democrats remain at an impasse over expiring healthcare subsidies. Okay. It says here the bottom line is the well has run dry. Quote, the USDA wrote on its website, at this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. During the fiscal year 2024, the government's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP otherwise, supported on average 41.7 million participants, or 12.3% of the U.S. population every month. Anywhere between 4.8% and 21.2% of each state's population was on SNAP in 2024. The total spending for SNAP reached $99.8 billion that year, averaging out to $187.20 per participant per month, while the federal government fully funds the programs. States contribute part of the cost of administering SNAP. Okay, all right. So it goes on in a memo. obtained by the Epoch Times on October 24th, the USDA stated that it can't use emergency funds to keep the SNAP program running if Congress doesn't vote to pass the funding agreement. Quote, SNAP contingency funds are only available to supplement regular monthly benefits when amounts have been appropriated for, but are insufficient to cover benefits, end quote, the memo reads. The contingency, quote, the contingency fund is not available to support the fiscal 2026 regular benefits because the appropriation for regular benefits no longer exists. The memo states that the money is used for emergencies such as hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods that can come on quickly without notice. All right, we'll keep it going there. So according to that memo was met with criticism from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, which pointed out that the agency is contradicting its now deleted September 30th lapse of funding plan. End quote page, which can still be found in an archived version on the USDA website. Quote, congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operation should continue since the program has been provided with multi-year contingency funds that can be used for state administrative expenses to ensure that the state can also continue operations during a federal government shutdown, end quote. The agency's now deleted shutdown policy reads, quote, these multi-year contingency funds are also available to fund participant benefits in the event that a lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. So, you talk about a whole lot of, I don't know, you might say, what is it? Biden used to say malarkey. They're just playing. To me, this sounds a lot like FEMA. It's like they always have to keep this fear. There's fear they know drives the common man, and they always inject that into whatever crisis, whatever it's disaster, crisis containment, or in this case, government shutdown. That's another crisis and containment kind of a narrative. But this is just, I just think that they're sticking it to people that actually, some people are not completely dependent on these SNAP benefits. I think some people, some of these elderly people that are co-parenting or taking care of their grandkids, I think they're actually using it to supplement. I think they're actually supplementing their supplementing their budgets for food through food stamps. I mean, because honestly, most people don't get, I don't know what anybody gets in terms of benefits, but I've heard some outrageous numbers, and then I've heard some numbers that are like, well, wow, if they're gonna give you $10 in food stamps, you might as well just you can get that $10 by turning in a couple of cans or something, or recycling or something. Let me just let me get into a couple of comments here. Derek C. Williams says, did I see the Democratic Congresswoman admit that making vulnerable Americans suffer is leverage to them? But unfortunately, idiot Americans believe Trump is behind the shutdown. No, I have not. I I got this on the Great Escape on my way out the door for work today. Let's see. Think about it. American politicians purposely hurting vulnerable Americans to take care of illegal aliens. That type of America is a traitor. Well, they've always, some of these states, some even down on the state level, you have states that don't care about their own. So I'm not surprised, at the federal level that they're playing the games. The political pawn game continues with the common man. But what I have been wrong about is, like I said, I will say the trajectory that we're typically on, that these people, that typically when we get down to that this shutdown, this is the last, the common man is the last. I still think that piece is on target, that the common man is the last to get, the relatable government is the last straw for the common man. And that's on issues like, food stamps. But I'm not surprised. But I was thinking that, I think this is a new world a new country, a new world that we're entering in. Um, dare I say, new empire? They might try to flag me or something if I say. Hey, so I'm into wordsmithing too. Um, but I do think that we might see some things that are unprecedented because of the amount of AI governance that's going on. Um, I do think that there's a lot of things that are, I mean, the shutdown could go on. Okay. Um, because at some point we're going to be brought to our knees anyway. Oops. Didn't mean to, didn't mean to hit this button, but okay. So let me keep going here. All right. So it says Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. President Sharon Parrott, who served in the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, from 2016 to 2017, and the Department of Health and Human Services from 2009 to 2012, said the Trump administration is legally required to keep SNAP payments flowing during a government shutdown. Okay. Quote, the administration itself admits these reserves are available for use. It could have and should have taken steps weeks ago to be ready to use these funds, end quote. Parrott said on October 23rd, in an October 23rd statement, quote, instead, it may choose not to use them in an effort to gain political advantage. Okay, it says last week officials from multiple states said food stamp recipients who have saved up their benefits may soon lose access to the money if the government shutdown continues. Quote, the SNAP retail system may disallow purchases beginning on November 1st, even if you have funds in your account. Yikes. I mean, I have no idea how it works. The Arkansas Department of Human Services said in an October 22nd statement. So I don't know. You might want to spread. Hi, Flying Guillotine. How are you? So you might want to share I don't want to spread the news for people, because if you know somebody that has, like, once upon a time, well, somebody that I know has told me that he has a family member that gets like over $1,500 in food stamps, like $1,800. I'm like, my gosh, okay, really? But and I don't even know if this person works or not. Okay, so I think there's a lot going on with that. But I think there might be like 6 kids or something involved in that situation. But I don't think she works. Okay, let me stop this. Maybe it'll stop. But yeah, so let me keep going here. So the SNAP retail system may disallow purchases beginning November 1, even if you have funds in your account. Quote, the Arkansas Department of Human Services said on October 22nd in a statement. So officials from Oklahoma reiterated that concern, saying it's unclear if recipients will be able to use existing SNAP funds after October 31st. So we're talking Friday here, okay? We're talking Friday. Friday might be it. So if you've got funds, I say you better use them. I mean, I don't know. This is not a cell phone plan. You don't get, the rollover feature, I guess that's not on there. So, and I don't mean to make light of this. Hold on, one more piece here. But here it is. However, other states such as Hawaii said SNAP benefits already loaded onto electronic benefits transfer cards from October or previous months should still be available on November 1. The state recommended purchasing shelf-stable foods or essentials with existing SNAP benefits because of uncertainty over how much longer the shutdown may last. So you see how these narratives, it seems like each of these states are going to do their own thing on this. Okay. So whatever you have, you might need to check out your own local, not your local, but check out what your states, find out from your state what they're going to do with your existing benefits, or any benefits that may be, that could be rolled over. You might want to check on that, because Hawaii, I'm sure Hawaii, I haven't there looked into Alaska. Those places, to me, kind of, sometimes I think they have different rules, as cited here. But I just figure, Why, if you're going to cite Hawaii, you might as well drop a few more in here. But so you have Arkansas cited in there, you have Oklahoma, you have Hawaii, and I think those Oklahoma, Hawaii, Arkansas. So those are the only 4 states that are listed. But if it's really drying up, I don't know. I mean, it seems like to me, you probably should have stocked up your refrigerator or your freezer anyway. You know, stop buying Takis if you're buying Takis for your kids. Stop buying the junk and buy some staples. As I know a lot of people, like back in the day, dare I say, back in the day, you used to go, if you go to the store and you see somebody with a whole bunch of junk in their cart. I mean, yeah, I mean, but you didn't assume that those people were using food stamps, but just buying a bunch of junk, a lot of empty calories, a lot of processed food. Oh my gosh, you guys remember those do they still make those Tony's pizza rolls or Totinos or I can't even get it out. I don't know. Those were the pizza rolls and Hot Pockets and oh my gosh, the Kool-Aid era. You might see one corner of somebody's cart back in the day with Kool-Aid all over the place. Like just complete Kool-Aid, every flavor of the Kool-Aid all over the place. And some people had Kool-Aid with everything. Like my mom was like, no, we're not buying that. So we didn't get, I didn't have that kind of, I didn't grow up with the Kool-Aid experience. I went to my cousin's house and every Sunday they had Kool-Aid. They had Kool-Aid. Okay, realize she confirmed Totino's Pizza. The Totino's Pizza roll. Do they make pizza rolls? But yeah, let me just roll this down. And you guys remember the Manwich? It's like, what's the difference between the Sloppy Joe and the Manwich back in the day? I don't know if we got to get the Manwich very much. I think the school even had like Sloppy Joes, but I don't know the difference. Okay, so and get me back up on my on the food novelties here. Derek C. Williams says, I can see folks having an economic issue, but how long is an able-bodied person stay on a government dole? Derek C. Williams, you got me. I don't know. You got to work. That's all I know. A lot of this is a lesson in what happens when folks don't take control of their lives. It says your food, healthcare, folks taking care of another adult's children is not a quote human right. No work, no eat, the code of the streets. And realize, she says, yes, Manwich and Sloppy Joe is the same, but they used ketchup. Okay, gotcha. I was just thinking, my gosh, why am I not better at this? What am I missing with? I don't know. Back in the day, if you had a dill pickle, with the Manwich or that Sloppy Joe, you were like, oh, I'm living the life. Or it seemed like one of them was kind of tangy or kind of tart. Yeah, but that's the way that it was. But like I said, we had to eat like real fruit and vegetables and that's just my family might consider that kind of stuff junk. You can't have that all the time. You're not, we'll have that every blue moon, but that's not part of your regular, it's not part of your regular deal. And Derek C. Williams says, what real woman stays with and lays with a sorry man that is happy to be on? Well, hey, you got some out there, some of them like that kind of a flavor, but not my brand. But I'm just saying that you got these types out here. They're everywhere. And further, how can a dude even classify themselves as a man? I have no idea, Derek C. Williams. It's kind of, dare I say, is it the year of the pampered? It's like, it just seems like more people are more pampered than ever. I don't know. I don't know. It's twisted, but it's some people have had that precedent set for them. You know, they've had that they've grown up around it. Well, my hand goes into like fully like in this mode. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring you guys that little piece. And I was talking about inflation, about how there's most people don't typically defer to, they don't pivot to these alternative sources when it comes to actual, to the economy, the recession, and all of this kind of a bit. So the piece was entitled "Inflation Edges Up, but Less Than Expected to 3%." And I mean, that doesn't make the average person is not going to feel any better about 3%. I mean, they said September data kept the Fed on track to cut interest rates again at its meeting next week. So I guess they're expected to cut the rates this week. So I guess we can stay tuned to that. But yeah, I brought it up this morning. There's an entire Bureau of Economic Research. That's the Federal Bureau of Economic Research. Yes, that is where they come up with these actual definitions of, because I was thinking, did they change the definition of what a recession is? But in fact, it's all kind of under the decisions of the people that are working at this FBER. They're the ones that make these kinds of decisions. Let's see. Let me read my data on that. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Derek C. Williams, how are the most obese women fighting so hard for Totino's Pizza via debit? I mean, debit via EBT. I thought, quote, boss, be end quote, women don't need help from men. Yikes. Derek C. Williams. I don't know. I mean, but they're having a great time. I mean, eating all the processed food and all this stuff. So yeah, the NBR. So what I was saying, I was looking at Market Watch and a couple of other sources on the actual 3% inflation. So hold on here, you're having a mess. So of course it's by definition. Hang on, I'm having a time here. Okay. So I said what the official definition is. So this is the widely cited official body for dating U.S. recessions and the National Bureau of Economic Research. That's your NBER. They define a recession as a, quote, a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts more than a few months, end quote. So we've got a couple of sites on Market Watch on that. It also says Market Watch emphasizes that two consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, end quote, rule of thumb, often used in media, is not the formal standard. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? So yeah, so inflation 3%, corporate layoffs, multiple quarters of stress at companies. So I was talking to you guys about Target. Target was doing 1,000 corporate layoffs, as well as closing 800 open positions, but they had three quarters of failing, is what they were reporting. So, but they didn't say store closings. So, look out for that. The first was Starbucks. Unlike Starbucks, the Target, this is not their second round of layoffs or store closings. It's not. So that's the difference there. Another difference there. So it says, okay, so according to the NBER, as reiterated in Market Watch, the U.S. is not definitively in a recession yet. It's just like to me, it's like you guys keep moving the goalpost. But I think the real economy is going to stand up, and when they do, I guess you just need to make sure you're prepared. Okay. At least not publicly. They haven't declared it publicly, and who knows if they will. Realize says Target and CVS are combined together down here in Florida. Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, okay, let's see, we don't have that. I know some of the larger cities have that, but yeah, they do. I think CVS may not be doing that well. Because I think they try to. I think some of that is like kind of a. I don't want to say it's a co-op kind of a business model on that. It's not like REI or something, but I think that the CVS stands for Customer Value Service. I used to know. Don't ask me why I know. Why I knew. Um, but yeah, so you do have, you can, there are notable stress signals. So the layoff is notable. Multiple quarter weak performances at major companies. Inflation at 3% are still above the Fed's 2% target. So it's still above what they said, but you and I are supposed to be okay with it, right? Okay. Meanwhile, they're telling you about, turkeys at Aldi's and turkey menus. Turkey turkey sales at turkey meals from Aldi's at $40. Walmart $40 turkey meals that feed up to 10 people. BJ's whatever. BJ's grocer or BJ's value or whatever. I think if you spend $100 or $150 there, they're going to give you a turkey. Okay, so I don't know. So it's just, it's shifting. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We just have to keep watching it and be prepared. I mean, I don't know whatever securities that you might have, or if you've invested in gold or anything. Realize says also down here the Winn-Dixies have been bought by, yeah, I know about one I know that one in the capital city has been purchased by Aldi's, the Winn-Dixie. At least on one, but I think they're going to close both of them. I think all the Winn-Dixies are about to be out of here. Let's see. So Target and Starbucks are stressed. You can see that. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. Market Watch, we could go into soft landings and all that, but I won't do that on this particular stream. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys are serving turkey or if you're getting into all of that. Are you going to do it? Are you going to get into all that or not? But we're going to eat something somewhere is all I can say. I'm pretty sure about that. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. I'm going to do, at some point, I'm going to do a much longer stream. I'm still working on some stuff around here. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. Because, I mean, this has been, I wanted to get in today. This is time to wind down. It's been a crazy Monday. Friday was something else, but today's been even a little bit more wild to come back in on a Monday. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Let me thank you guys so much for coming in. And I guess it could just be a heads up, if you know somebody that's dealing with food stamps or whatever, subsidizing their groceries with food stamps, or, some elderly person, they might need to go and stock up their freezer, or they might need to go and borrow somebody and say, hey, can I buy some extra things and put them in your freezer? I mean, maybe you need to stock up on some canned goods or something like that. Dare I say, stock up on some meats or something. Not junk per se. Yeah. Or get out here and go hunting or something. I don't know what else to... If you're not going to do that, you better get out and go hunt. Or find somebody that goes hunting. I see that's have a big deal in my family. Let's see. Okay. Realize says, Winn-Dixie originally was named Grand Union. My father worked for them many years ago before they changed it. I had no idea. Thanks for sharing that. Derek Swilliams says cities are definitely going to have looting, which will force Trump to call in reinforcements. And then he says, then media will be saying he's trying to institute martial law. This is there's so many signals going on out here. I don't know. it just get to me only I can kind of like, let's see. Let me just take a glance at this one and this one. And yeah, the media is, they, you know, they do their job. They do their job. Let's see. And Derek C. Williams says, and the military may have to open up on looters. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, I did hear something about that there were threats or something being made about threats being made about things getting torn up. Let's see, hang on one second here. So hold on, I got one, just one more for the road. Okay, it says hold on. Hang on. Okay, so Aldi's. So yeah, so while Aldi's has a $40 Thanksgiving meal plan for 10 people, it does not offer a specific dinner for 40. Let's see. What is this? No. It's for 10. For 10. Yeah, it's a $40 Thanksgiving meal for 10. It includes a 14-pound turkey and 9 side dishes. You eat one of those side dishes and you're ready to go to bed. If you eat one of those side dishes, you won't eat anything else. So I think that's why they load you up, because turkey is pretty lean. And I mean, that's a big staple for me. I mean, turkey, everything. See, I mean, there's a turkey farm not too far. But I've always loved turkey, so I don't know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Let's see, there may be, I think Walmart kind of came up with the same thing. And then there's some other stores. This is, I don't see it getting any better. No, I don't. I agree. Realize I see things getting crazier myself. I really do. Yeah, just even the quality of our food. But you guys, I could do a whole stream on recalls. There's been recalls for chicken and all these things. There's been like recalls on chicken. I think, was it something about a recent study of past chicken recall? Yeah, it says that the nearly 1 in 5 urinary tract, that's why UTIs linked to contaminated meat. So there, you see what I'm saying? The bacteria in the meat. Nearly 1 in 5 urinary tract infections tied to E. coli in meat. So do you see what I'm saying? Our food supply is also cooked. It's just, I don't know. It's rough, guys. I think it's rough. It's rough for everybody. If this is still your main, if you're still dealing with everything out of the grocers, freezers, or USDA stuff, I don't know what in the world. But there's a Fox News, there's many hits on the contaminated meat. Chicken and turkey pose highest risk to consumers. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna be eating all this stuff. I mean, they're just shutting it down. I mean, honestly, I guess I better ask the place that I like to get turkey from. Like, have you guys checked the situation out to make sure there's no contaminations? Realize, what do you think about the unemployment rate and housing crisis? I don't think that the numbers are being. I don't think that we're here again that we're getting we're not getting the real numbers. I don't. I'm sure there's a housing crisis. I'm sure there is, because there's been one for a long time. Let's see. I mean, it's just, and then you don't have rent control in many places, and like, especially places like Southern California, New York, a lot of these major cities, you don't have the rent control, and you don't have, you're paying as much. You're paying a ton of money. It's just, yeah. I would think that the homeless rate would be worse than it is. I just don't think what we it's it said it's at 4.3%. It was at 4.3%. Not sure where it is exactly where it is right now. Um let's see if they can give us an accurate. Well, it says 4.30%. I think it's higher than that because you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because I think people have stopped looking for work, is what I think. People stop looking for work. There you go. There, there you go. Um, so yeah, I just don't. I mean, for a long time, it was after COVID. They were saying, "Oh, we're hiring." You would see all these hiring signs, and then and those hiring signs stayed out for a long time. Samoan says rent is out of control out here. I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. My friends, my family, it was that way. I mean, what was it? 20 years ago? 20 years ago, it was probably still it was not as bad, but it's not sustainable is what I do know. I know during COVID, a lot of people, they got behind on their rent. And I think at some point, when they didn't have that moratorium, a lot of people ended up staying at the beach. You go out to Belmont Park and there was a lot of people out there, in their cars. And I just think these people they're I don't know if they're hanging out or are they literally just staying. They were staying there. Watchman says, I used to work as a car carrying worker in public social services in Los Angeles, handing out food stamps and cash aid. Wow. Well, I'm sure you've seen the skeleton of this whole thing. He says, I worked there 12 years. Derek C. Williams says, high rent in Philadelphia, but the idiot yuppies are paying six figures for micro apartments, literal closets. Yeah. It's not sustainable. I remember like La Mesa. I remember a lot of my neighbors had subsidized rent in La Mesa in East County. They did. And these were retired teachers. They had subsidized rent, and yeah, I'm not sure if they're there anymore, but realize says my daughter graduated with her master's in psychology and a minor in health over a year, unable to find anything. Wow. They say she needs experience, but she has to be given a chance to gain experience. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of I just know that a lot of people are frustrated with with their chances out here. You go to, it's like some people, oh, that college degrees now are the new high school diplomas, and you know it's a mixed bag. Things appear to be upside down, or either that, or we've all believed what we were told. We believed that we could go out and we would get additional educations, or do this and do that and do this way and do it that way, and we would we would raise our chances. But I don't even know, is there a such thing as a good job? Is there such thing as what's a good job? I used to, when my family members would say that, I don't know, what does that even mean? And especially right now, what is a good job? What does a good job mean? Does it include the pay and the benefits? What is it? Is it a job? Is it a package? Does it have stock options? Does it have, what do you get? Yes, congratulations to your daughter for sure. It's she's a minor in health. You would think. I'm going to be honest, and just stay encouraged. Realize, just try to keep her encouraged, and just, I'm not even really sure what the best way to network, or I'm not sure at all. But just try to stay encouraged, and and try to do I'm not sure. You need good leads, but where do you get them these days? Because some of these sites, I think people's applications just end up going on to the bottom. Their applications just end up going on to the bottom of the pile. I mean, and I don't even know. Um, I don't know. I heard some things about, people applying for jobs back in the day, and sometimes, it's just, you put in all these applications and then you don't hear anything back. But definitely, try to keep her encouraged. Derek C. Williams says, a quote, good, end quote, job firstly should be the place you're happy to work there. Stability, of course, good pay, perks fluctuate, but that's a good job in my view. See, that's what I mean. It's like, it's all relative. Like, I don't know. It's so relative now that I don't know. It's almost like mythical, or it's elusive, because no one ever would, when you find that good job, you arrest him, or find that good job, you arrest her, so that we can all see what she looks like, how long, I'm just saying, I mean, to me, that was, that to me, that at this point, like I said, that's kind of old school talk. But some people might say that, but that's what I'm familiar with it. But, a good job to some people it's relative, but to me now, I think it's more elusive than ever. Like, $25 an hour to me is a joke. I mean, in some places that might work. $25 an hour in one place. I think $25 an hour 30 years ago might have been a good job. But right now, not so much. Even $15 an hour. I remember when California and, what were they? Everybody was all a rage about $15 an hour. Like, what is it? What is so magical about $15 an hour? I mean, it does. That's not any real money. It's not. I mean, especially after taxes. Samoan says, if I could get paid to play my bass, that would be a good job. Yeah, I got you. He says, are paid to go fishing. And Derek C. Williams says, but to have a job that keeps you above water is a good job in 2025. And Samoan Watchman says, job means just over broke. Just over broke. And then Derek C. Williams says, in 1990, $25 an hour, you had a damn good job. Yep. But see, now that doesn't, as they say, that doesn't hit. That $25 doesn't hit like that. Not with this. No. Not with rent. Not in decent rent anywhere. That's as elusive as the good job. So, but honestly, guys, with that said, we need to come back. We could do a whole case study on a good job. We could do that. I'd love to do that. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. And if there's some way I come back today, then I'll let you know. But right now, I need to wind it down a little bit. But I appreciate you guys per usual. And let me thank everybody for coming in for sure. Thank you guys so much. And tapping that screen. The Watchman, I thank you so much for coming in. Realize. I appreciate you so much. And Derek C. Williams, of course, the prolific Derek C. Williams, for coming in. And Flying Guillotine. I know you were here. Well, I knew you were here, but it's been a while. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're still in the chat, but thank you so much for coming in, of course. And yeah, there's so much I could get into, but I just need to have a little break here. I should have a little break here. Let's see, what else is it? What else do I see? Is that everybody? Oh, you're so welcome. And like I said, just stay encouraged, keep your daughter encouraged. And like I said, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a great pairing that she has. It's just, I don't know. Every now and then I think about I'm thinking I'm gonna probably end up returning to somebody's school. I just don't, but right now it's just, I don't know. The timing is bizarre. Derek C. Williams says you should case study on the proper definition of a good job. Hey, you guys sure will have a lot of perspective. Together we'll have a nice mix, a nice gumbo of of experience and what it means to have a good job. But I appreciate you guys for being you and doing everything that you do. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just keep going and stay encouraged. Um, yeah, I wish I knew of some leads, but I just don't. I mean, yeah, just keep going, and keep encouraging her. And I appreciate you for coming in. All right, guys, I will see you later, and have a great rest of your Monday. And I'll probably check you guys out later. Okay.